So looking forward to giving the presentation tonight. There'll be 2 new slides that hopefully will be quite informal for our community. So moving forward to the first one. So there's a new dashboard. We all like dashboards and data and information. So this is a COVID-19 vaccine dashboard. We'll be including this in all of our presentations moving forward. This will allow everyone in the community and of course you as board members to kind of see where we're at. As of right now, there have been 81,725 vaccines administered to residents of Oakland County. We know recently the governor was able to get, I believe, 100,000 additional doses that are coming in. And also, there was a wait list. We'll talk about this in a minute as well, as far as people to get on an electronic wait list so they can sign up for the vaccine. My call with the Oakland County Health Division today, there are over 80,000 people that are now in the queue, ready to get a vaccine as they become available. As you can see, the majority have been the Pfizer vaccine, which we know is a little more difficult to store. The Moderna vaccine, quite a bit less. That was approved a little bit later, with the expectation of more coming in. Next slide, David. So this was the timeline that was just released by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services today. I talked to someone in Lansing, and they kind of released it to kind of give everyone a guideline. This is what they believe is going to be a worst case scenario as far as how long it might take. Again, no idea when the vaccines are going to come in, how quickly we can get them administered to the people that want them. But knowing that, you know, that group of frontline essential workers where our child care and pre-K are through, looking at January, maybe all the way into July. Then other additional frontline workers may be coming on board in April and May. I know there's a presentation by the President-elect Biden today with his proposal as far as rolling out the vaccine. Hopefully that's additional information that will be disseminated to the board and potentially at one of our updates as well, once we know more about what may happen in the future. But this is just to kind of give everyone a guideline of where the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services feels we're at right now. Next slide. So looking at the data, overall, we're up 390 cases this week in Oakland County compared to last week. So that's the majority of the age groups you can see to your far right. The biggest difference I want you to take a look at is in the bottom, and it's highlighted. The county risk determination for MDHHS, the metric is no longer being used. Just like the governor no longer is using, we're in phase 5, we're in phase 3, we're in phase 4. But going back to this for the Oakland County Health Division, so they're not going to report that we're in red, we're in green, we're in yellow. Instead, we're trying to look at things really within a district. So for us in Bloomfield Hills, looking at COVID, what are we seeing in a particular building? What are we seeing in our school district? And what are we seeing? What are we seeing in our classroom? What are we seeing in that school? What are we seeing overall in the school district? And then what are we seeing overall in Oakland County? Kind of breaking it down and looking at it that way. And that is best practice. My recommendation is to continue to keep everything we have on the website and continue sharing all the data with our community. I believe our community has come to expect to see where we're at. And so although it's not being recorded by Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, as far as recommendations to open or close school, I would like to keep all that transparency moving forward because I strongly believe a lot of parents want to know what the case count is, what the percent positive is as we move forward. Next slide. So looking at hospitalizations, little change from next week or last week, that's pretty stable. Next slide, David. Looking at COVID-19 on a national level, again, very little change from the week before. We met, as we all know, last week to have an emergency meeting regarding a return to school plan. So not a lot of change there. Next slide, David. Again, so looking at Oakland County, we've seen it go up a little bit, dip back down. Still keeping an eye out to see if we're going to have that spike after the holidays and after New Year's. So very cognizant about that. The numbers should start to kind of bear out. We were down, I believe, around 500 tests in Oakland County compared to the week before. So we'll see what this week holds when we have our update in 2 weeks. Next slide. Again, just keeping an overall, another way to look at the trends as far as cases by age group, it's just a different graph. You can also see the 7-day average of daily cases, not a lot of change from 1.7, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that moving forward. Next slide. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Pat.